Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's world, AI is all the rave, and there comes a time when you need to also try out some of these tools. And usually, if you want to use something like ChatGPT, you need to go to the chatgpt.com website, and for the other ones as well. But you can actually run this on your own machine as well. But you can pull some of these models and run them locally. And I'll be showing you how to do that. The two ways in which you can run the models locally. You can run them with Olama, and you can also use LM Studio. These are very straightforward ways of getting them done. And I'll also be showing you how you can integrate them in VS Code locally. So you don't need to get some API keys and stuff like that before you can use these models on your local machine. So let's get right into it. The first way will be via Olama. So I'll be showing you how to get this done with Olama. Just gonna reduce that video screen size and launch my web browser. To check out the models available on Olama, you can go to the olama.com website, and on the models page, you can see all of the available models available. So for the purpose of this video, we'll be taking a look at, we'll be using the DeepSeek R1. So before you can use Olama, you need to download the Olama application. So if you click on download, there are download packages for all the popular operating systems. And after you do your download, you can have access to Olama on your terminal. So if you click on DeepSeek R1, which is the model we want to run, we can pick which size of the model. The size of the model depends on the parameter size. So the smallest one is the 1.5 billion parameter sized one, which is 1.1 gigabyte in size. If we click on that, we can basically see the command here to get the model up and running. So we copy that command basically and open up the terminal, and we paste that there, which is Olama run DeepSeek R1 and the parameter size. And if you press enter, this typically pulls the Olama model on your computer, and on the DeepSeek model, on your local computer. For this case, I have already pulled the model, so it immediately shows me a prompt to type my message, so I can interact with the model from here and see a response. If you are running this for the first time, you would see like a downloading progress bar. Once that is done, it only does that the first time. So subsequent times, it uses the model that you already have locally, so it doesn't re-download every time. And that's how you can use DeepSeek. So you can ask any question, and you get the response directly on the terminal this way. So we can ask something else. What year is it? Yeah. So that's how much information it has up to July 2024. So it's said simply 2024, but yeah, we know it's not 2024. Yeah, so that's how you can run the model locally using Olama. Another way to do this is to run this with LM Studio. So LM Studio as well, you go to lmstudio.ai, you download the package for LM Studio and install. And once you've installed this, you will have something like this. So this is the interface for LM Studio. It's the chat interface. There is the developer interface, which we would take a look at soon. And there is the list of models. So right now I have 3 models locally. I have the Llama, open the DeepSeek 7B and the 1.5B locally, and to download new models. So if you install this and you don't have any models, you just need to come to the Discover tab here, the Discover section, and you can basically search for which model you want, and you can basically download. See a download button on the bottom right here, and once you download that the model, you have access to it locally, and you can load it up in the chat terminal as well to chat with it. So you click on at the top here to load the model, and you can pick any of the models that you want to interact with. You may set some parameters if you know what you're setting. If not, you can basically click on load model, and it will load the model for you to chat with. So that is for the chat. You can also add a document on LM Studio, so you can upload a file, and this will basically use that file as a context for you to chat with. That is called retrieval augmented generation. The technical terms for you to provide context to the model using the file, so you can chat with the LLM, based on the content of the file. And that is something you can do directly from LM Studio as well. So the difference between this and the OLAM is just that this provides you, with the graphical UI interface to do all of this. With this as well, API for the LLM. So depending on whichever one you load, you have a local server running here. So you can see I have 127.0.0.1, which is basically my local host, and the port as well. But this basically gives you access to some endpoints that you can use to interact with the model. So say you are building something locally and you require AI inputs and outputs, you can use this model locally and basically interact with the LLM that you have locally. And this will be important because it is also what the VSCode integration requires to interact with your local LLM model, which we'll be taking a look at shortly. So now how to basically run this whole thing locally and have access to chats, file upload and all of that on your local machine. So for the VS Code integration, we have a couple of extensions that we can use. One of them is continue.dev. So if you go to the extension list, there's a continue.dev. This helps you use any AI coding assistants that you want to use on your local machine. So this has a couple of based on your settings, you can choose to use some of the online hosted ones like the ChatGPT, the Gemini, and any coding assistants available online you can use. And you can also integrate the ones that I have locally as well. So for me, you can install this. You can also install rule client, or I think it's called rule code now. It used to be rule client. Yeah, this one also helps you integrate LLMs or coding assistants directly on VS Code. So there's a couple of them. There's also Klein as well, and yeah, they all basically do something similar, and the way to use them is quite straightforward. So I'm going to install, I already have continue.dev, which is basically um, an extension like the other ones. And I have already done some configuration. So if you go to the settings, I already set what the API base should be and the model autocomplete. So you can see where I've set the model name and the provider and all the other information that it requires to do autocomplete. And these are where you specify the models that you have locally as well. So I left this on auto detect, so you can basically pick the model that I have. If you have this set, then your autocompletes can come directly from the LLM that you have locally. If you installed, so we can install client just to see how the configuration works here as well. So this is installing and it's installed. I click on the client. You can pick the model that you currently use. I go into the settings, provider. So API provider here, you pick LM Studio. You can also pick Olama if you're running the server with Olama as well. And so here I picked LM Studio, and the base URL is the default is what I currently have. So I don't need to change that. If I add a different port, I can change that as well. Then the model ID is basically the name of the model I'm running locally. So in this case, this depends on the model you have loaded here. So for this, we have the Llama running as the loaded model. So you put the name here, basically. And basically, that is all the settings you need to do. There are a couple of other advanced settings if you want to make them. But that's all you need to set at the basic level to be done with that. And then you can basically ask questions. And the client is such that it also can modify or add files and stuff like that in your project. So, for example, Python code to add two numbers. So it makes this API request directly to your local model and comes up with a response based on that API request. So if you go back to your LM Studio, you can actually see the response and the requests. You see the request and you see the response actually happening. So that is basically it to integrate VS Code onto your integrate your local model with VS Code as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop messages, and if you have further clarifications, and I'll be looking forward to your comments. Thank you. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.